Hello, this is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. Today I continue my series on the four Gospels Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I'm in Luke chapter 23, starting in verse 44. The death of Jesus. By this time it was about noon, and darkness fell on the whole land until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone, and suddenly the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn down the middle. Then Jesus shouted, "Father, I entrust my spirit unto your hands." And with those words, breathed his last breath. When the Roman officer overseeing the execution saw what had happened, he worshiped God and said, "Surely this man was innocent." And when all the crowd that came to see the crucifixion saw what had happened, they went home in deep sorrow, beating their chests. But Jesus' friends, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance watching. I'm going to go to Psalm 31:5. This is about the last words of Jesus on the cross. I entrust my spirit into your hand. Rescue me, Lord, for you are a faithful God. Jesus was all the time saying the words of the prophets, echoing the words of the prophets, so that people knew that these were the words of David. He knew that he was a descendant of David. The people knew, so they would know he was the Messiah. Also, the curtain in the temple tore in two. Now, why is that significant? Let's go to Exodus 26. On Sunday evening, I do a reading from the Torah. So in Exodus 26, we are looking at the instructions and the description of the first tabernacle that was built by Moses and Aaron at God's direction. So we're looking at verses 31 to 34. For the inside of the tabernacle made a special curtain of finely woven linen, decorated with blue, purple, and scarlet thread with skillful embroidered cherubim. Hang this curtain on gold hooks attached to the 4 posts of acacia wood. Overlay the posts with gold and set them in 4 bases. Hang the inner curtain from the clasp and put the Ark of the Covenant in the room beyond it. This curtain will separate the holy place from the most holy place. Now, the most holy place is where the chief priest, which was the original chief priest was Aaron, would go in and make the sacrifices at the Ark of the Covenant once a year to give atonement, to ask atonement and forgiveness from God for the sins of the nation. And only the high priest could go into this area. The area before that, priests could go in. The area before that, people bringing in sacrifices could come in with all the priests. So there was the outer area of the tabernacle, the inner area that included the holy place and the most holy place. So when the curtain rent between the holy place and the most holy place, when Jesus was crucified, it was saying that everyone has access to the holy place. We all have access to have a relationship with God and with Jesus Christ. Let's look further in Leviticus 4 and verse 67. That must be 6 and 7. The high priest, this is starting in verse 5, the high priest will then take some of the bull's blood into the tabernacle, dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord in front of the inner curtain of the sanctuary. The priest will then put some of the blood on the horns of the altar for fragrance incense that stands in the Lord's presence inside the tabernacle. He will pour out the rest of the bull's blood at the base of the altar for burnt offerings at the entrance of the tabernacle. And this is the procedure for the sin offering. So all of our sins are forgiven. The curtain is torn. The old covenant is gone, where we had to make all these sacrifices. And the new covenant, where Jesus Christ was the sacrifice for all our sins, is where we are now. By the mercy and grace of God, Jesus Christ made the ultimate sacrifice for us. We don't have to make these sacrifices anymore. All we have to do is believe in Jesus Christ and have faith. You all have a wonderful and blessed day. And don't put a curtain up between you and God. Jesus Christ tore the curtain for us.